Okay, so you can start.
अरे 2023 नहीं है ये.
Hello, am I audible properly? Hello.
Yes, sir, audible.
Hello.
Yes, you are audible enough.
Yes, sir, audible.
Yes. Hi, Ayush, you are audible. Okay, I think there's some internet issues are there. Yes, you are audible, Ayush. You can start. You are audible, Ayush.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is my video on too?
Yes, it is
Yeah.
visible.
So, hello everyone. I'm glad that you guys joined in. So I'm Ayush Raj. I'm from KIT University, Bhubaneswar. I'm currently in my fourth year. And besides that, if talking about my programming journey, I didn't have a prior computer science background or anything before joining in college. In fact, my decisions for taking a computer science branch were also not to pursue like complex programming, to be precise. I didn't know what it was before that. And my understanding of coding as a whole was just HTML and CSS, whatever was in the syllabus of in class 9th and 10th of CBSE. So as you know, like the syllabus is pretty outdated, and that does not give a very good impression of what coding is all about. So yeah, when I joined college, I had C in my second semester. So around 1 month prior to that, I started slightly looking into C. Now, after a few days, the lab work and everything that was being taught in class became slightly repetitive for me. I didn't find quite substantial amount of challenge in solving them. So I started looking things around. Luckily, I had a friend from my school time. So he's from BITS Pilani, and he had told me about computer programming and there being a very good culture in his college and all. So he suggested I could give it a try, and I tried it, and luckily I enjoyed it first and foremost. That was very important for me because I understood that college life is very long, and placements and everything are just a small component of it. Job or may it be anything. So just thinking on that alone, that I need to get a good job, would not necessarily work for me. So computer programming was something that I really enjoyed first and foremost, and I understood that it had benefits in terms of placement and few other things. So yeah, and my initial targets when I started off seriously at the end of first year and and start of second semester were mainly in regards to I should reach this amount of rating. I should represent my college in ICPC. I should perform this well in ICPC, so on and on. So yeah, that was my pre-journey, and since my colleges were online due to COVID. I primarily spend my time on Discord, chatting on few servers. Ericto server was pretty active at that time. So yeah, I made a few bunch of friends there. We started discussing, and it was a good time. Uh, and by max rating, I'm an expert on Codeforces and a 5-star on CodeChef. I have represented my college in ICPC in Kanpur as well as Amritapuri district. In Kanpur, we ranked roughly around 41, and in Amritapuri, we were 51. So yeah, that's about my programming journey so far. Uh, Now, I want the session to slightly be open because I don't think there is any information that I was currently speak in regards to computer programming which is not out there. So, and also because there are substantially reasonably less people, so we can have a to and fro conversation. So if anyone has something particular to ask and on, so we can talk about that. And in regards to my internship, I'll get to that as the session flows in. So anybody has any question?
like how to practice a particular topic?
So initially that's slightly tedious because you don't know which topic is primarily like very relevant and which will like benefit you, especially in terms of Codeforces. So first and foremost thing that I'll suggest for any of you who practices on Codeforces, it's the best platform for like long-term growth. Like if you want to target growth for more than for like roughly around 1 year, 2 year. But the time frame in which you judge your progress, keep that like slightly longer. So rather than judging your performance in 10 days, 15 days, make that time frame itself 2 months. Because Codeforces contest, like they take a reasonable amount of time to like the topic that you have currently studied is very important, but it will take some time, like 2, 3 more contests when that specific topic comes in. And if you just want to like have a list of topics which you want to study, you can like look around what topics generally are asked in the question which you are not able to solve in the Codeforces contest or any platform. You can look at the editorial, the problem that you were trying to solve and couldn't solve, and also the next problem. So that would give you slight idea about what topic you should study. And besides that, I guess it's pretty well documented. You can read blogs. Yeah, blogs on Codeforces is a very good resource. You can just search anything that you have in mind and write Codeforces after it and Google search it. You will find something relevant, not just the blog, but also the comment section. Uh, and the initial topics are pretty well noted. You will find videos, you'll find it discussing on Discord and all, prefix sums, binary search, slight idea of binary search, sorting, so on and on. So does that answer your question, or do you have something particular you needed to ask?
Like the queries, have you started preparing randomly with a coding
Sorry?
structure or you started? I was asking, so like you prepared topic wise or like you started doing questions and the questions which are tagged, like having tag of particular problem. So you started preparing that particular topic. How was your like? Are you doing questions randomly on Codeforces or it is like topic wise?
So that depends on the stage on which you are in complex programming. So let's say you have solved less than 50, 60, or let's say 100 problems. You should give regular contest, I feel, or at least virtually. So that will give you an idea of the platform. Now, at that time, you should just randomly solve problems by, let's say, a certain rating. So let's say you have not given any contest, you should solve 800 problems. If you find them slightly easier, also try 900, give contest. Now, once you have few contests in the bank, let's say 5, 6, then you need to find patterns in the topics that are recurringly asked, or let's say the observations that are almost similar in all the, let's say, A problems, B problems. Now, once you have crossed that stage, then you should like try to form some structure, because then you will need to understand certain topics. Because that once let's say once you study certain topic, that idea stays with you, and you can use that idea depending on how well you have understood it while you are solving next problems. So after that initial threshold, you should start learning topics. Now, how you can understand, like learn those topics is what I said. You can just search, you will find blogs, or let's say if the like senior also, they haven't told me, but see, Jaskaran has made a very pretty good sheet. So you can go through that, you will find some like you'll find the level, like what are the initial topics that are necessary. You can practice in detail from there itself, or at least it will give you an idea, like these are the topics that are required for me currently, and might also be required, let's say, after 1 month, 2 month. So it's a mix of both. It's not a linear process. And also, if you have a programming buddy, or if you are in a community where you discuss, then it gets exponentially easier, because you have 2, 3 people who can just some everyone will not be at the same stage. Someone will be slightly above, slightly lower. So you guys can help each other in understanding. Okay, I know this topic. You should study this, so on and on. Yeah. Anything more? Okay. Priyanshu has asked how you started CP in your third semester on CF and how you practice. Yeah. So my Codeforces ID is codifica.10, and like I'm in a private college, and I don't think I had put in much effort during my 11th and 12th. So first thing that I wanted to when I started doing seriously computer programming, I gave myself 6 months or 7 months, and also I had also put in certain goals. Those goals were not rating based. So initially, I had a goal of doing solving problems every day on Codeforces for at least 100 days. Now I broke that streak specifically on like 100 day. Now that was in order to get me going with computer programming. So I feel if you're struggling with consistency, or you do not have a very strong background of problem solving, you should do this at least. That gets you going. After that, as I said about the topics and how I did, it was along those lines. I was in Discord communities. I had people with whom I could discuss, and I used to give a lot of contest. So you will find the level, your own level, like how many problems you need to solve to be good at a certain topic. So yeah, the more you solve, the more you know about yourself. Okay. And also, Yash has asked, how did you utilize your whole day? Tell something about your project and other helpful skills which should be developed. Now, I don't think anyone can utilize his or her whole day like every day for a month, 2 month, or 3 month. So believe me, before anything, like any good rating, any good contest I had, there were long phases where I felt I'm not productive enough. I could squeeze in this time, that time, or so on and on. So I felt the like important thing was to prioritize. So let's say I have 3 4 things planned in a day, like I need to do this and on. So my priority was always computer programming. Now let's say if I'm having a bad day or a lethargic day, I at least used to do that. Then there were other things I was not doing, so on and on. So prioritization is the first thing I feel. If you prioritize better, it helps you. uh, and I used to have many days where I was unproductive. But again, though I might have been unproductive in, let's say, going out and socializing, but at least I was being productive in the primary aspect that I was trying to do. And also about projects. So, my idea was to not delve deep into second year for till second year in projects. Mainly because I was trying, like I was really enjoying computer programming, and I felt that for me, I needed to put in my whole time to grow to the level where I wanted to grow. Uh, so I didn't do any detailed projects. I just had very simplistic understanding of what is an API, so on and on. Also, the other reason was that I knew that at the start of third year, uh, there are few internship opportunities in big MNCs. And those internship opportunities are mostly check your problem solving and your complex programming or your data structure knowledge. They have a very slight, like they don't go as deep as they go in the problem solving aspect. So I wanted to get that thing sorted first. So I mostly did computer programming because of that. I did very small, simplistic projects of REST and one which was based on graph theory and involved Pygame. Besides that, in my college, Atlassian came at the start of third year itself, and I got an internship opportunity there. So after that, I didn't want to go much deeper into projects because that is not what motivated me. I wanted to pursue for ICPC and so I'm not very sure how much projects are directly relevant for your internships in big MNCs. Uh, yeah. Also, did you contribute to open source like GSOC? No, I didn't. As I said, I was not much into development throughout my college life, so I didn't contribute much into open source. But yeah, I would say, having had my internship experience in Atlassian, if you really pursue open source, and this is coming from a person who has just done computer programming, it's a very wonderful thing. Like if you really want to enjoy software development, open source is a very wonderful thing. You understand code bases, you understand contributions, and if you also put in reasonable amount of time in that, you will also have a pretty good career in IT. Maybe in different type of companies which are more oriented towards dev, but are equally paying and will land you equally successful careers. Uh, okay. Any further questions from anyone particularly? Standard problem set suggestions. Okay, so greedy is a must. Greedy is the must thing. Like greedy is the most essential idea because not just solving greedy problems, understanding what greedy represents. Now that takes a time. So personally for me, what I felt that if you want to learn an algorithm or understand an idea, it's okay. My GPA is 8.9, but that's mostly due to online classes and online examinations. Yeah, as I was saying about standard problem sets. So see, you need to understand why it takes longer for anyone to understand a topic. So let's say when you are studying a topic, at first you just have a understanding, okay, this is this. After that, once you practice, you get a slight feel of things. Now again, if you improve uh, on it and you solve harder problems, then you are able to exactly pen down, like this is the idea, this is the exact flow of things. Now that is why problem solving is generally slightly harder. It takes time. You cannot just solve hard OA questions in practice of 1 month, generally speaking, because it takes time for an idea to sink in. So greedy is a must, as I was saying. And then prefix sums is also a pretty cool concept that will help you, if you understand it thoroughly, that will help you understand things when you study about, let's say, advanced data structures such as segment tree, so on and on. Also, I feel binary search is the essence. Like it's pretty commonly said that like you cannot reach red until unless you have mastered binary search. Binary search is a very layered topic. I don't think there is any mm, such a layered topic in computer programming. So you will find questions from binary search even at 1100 rating. You will also find at 1200, 1300, 1400, even at 2000, because that's a beautiful topic. Now you can check out edu section of Codeforces. The binary search there is just beautiful. Like it's divided into sections. You can go through section by section. One section is about certain ideas of binary search. Another one is about different ideas. So it's very well documented. Like I just fell in love with binary search when I was going through that. Yeah. Also, yeah, I'll share my Codeforces handle. Yeah, so I go by this on all coding platforms. How to improve your greedy and other standard problems suggestions. I guess that's pretty obvious. Also, if you want to practice standard problems of, let's say, advanced data structures or advanced topics, for that lead code is good. Because see, in computer programming, the observation time for any problem is more. So you'll not be easily able to see good Codeforces problems or good computer programming problems. Like if you have read it, once you read it, it will take some time for you to think, okay, this is a binary search problem, or I can construct this problem into a binary search idea. Whereas if you go on lead code, you'll that time is very little. Like from once you read it and the time in which you think, okay, this is the idea behind it, that's little. So lead code is good for that, particularly good for that. Okay. Also, how to improve greedy algorithms and constructive problems. Okay, for first we'll talk about greedy algorithms. Greedy and DP, if you understand greedy well, you'll also be able to formulate DP slightly easily when you read about DP. So greedy is mostly about there are multiple paths, you choose a particular path. So if you solve various different levels, the types of greedy problems, and not just solve them, definitely read editorials, topics in which you don't find full comfort. Read the editorial because you will find like proper explanation. You might be able to solve it, but you cannot articulate how you were able to solve it. That's also very important. Any topic you have solved, you should be able to articulate that idea. Now that comes when you read editorials. So try reading editorials and also the comment section. People will discuss ideas in that. And if you go through few of those greedy questions, it will help you much. Constructive problems. For constructive problems, I'm also trying to find the answer so far. So constructive is slightly painful, I must agree, because you have to do a lot of casework. It's slightly tiring. Also, if it's a later on problem, you're already slightly exhausted, so you don't want to do that much of casework. Codeforces, CodeChef is pretty good for that. You can go through CodeChef questions. So generally, in Codeforces C problem or D problem, it involves certain level of data structure or binary search knowledge, or a beginner level algorithm knowledge. But for CodeChef, you will find complex level of constructive casework and all. Game theory, there was a time when game theory was heavily asked in the later on problems of CodeChef, and those are very, very good for improving that. Okay, how to use BitStretch for constructive algorithm? Can you be a little particular for that, Bhanu? Meanwhile, we'll go to the next question. Good resources for DP and how to master it. DP is slightly different than just putting it as an algorithm or let's say a data structure. So DP is generally a way of thinking. So for a single problem, that's why you will find different ways of implementation. So DP generally involves state transition. So it depends on you how you are framing that question. Okay, this should be the state according to how I am trying to implement this DP, according to how I am thinking the smallest subsets to be. So generally, DP generally takes the longest time for you to practice because it's a way of thinking and that takes time. Initially, you will be able to solve simple level of problems, then slightly harder, then slightly harder. So for DP, there is a Ad Coder A to Z DP playlist. It's 26 questions. And every question is just a progression on the previous question or a differently new idea. So it's not important for you to solve every question. Rather, you should try that question, give your full approach. Then, if you're not able to solve, look at the correct solution. And then try to compare it with your approach. And then try to take any observations if you have from that specific question. Also, CSCS problem set is also very, very good. Yeah. So that is very good. And there is one person by the name of Vivek Gupta on YouTube. He has also a playlist on DP. It's very good. I mean, these are subjective things which I have particularly followed. If you, let's say, just have few friends on Discord and try to communicate, like there might be someone new who is making content which I might not be familiar with and also is also very good. Yeah, I was struck in expert level how to improve much more effectively. So I have also not pursued much of computer programming once I was able, like I personally became an expert. So I cannot tell this you from experience, but only from what I think should be the right way ahead. Yeah, so mostly at this stage, because I was also consulting my seniors and people who I asked generally about what should be done. So most of the advice that I gave was to improve slightly on DP, and DP particularly of the type of questions that are asked on Codeforces, and to solve a lot of ABCD, ABCD, ABCD. The faster you will be able to solve ABCD, the sooner you become candidate master. So yeah, that's about it. Also, if I have got any other internships before Atlassian. No, Atlassian is my only industry experience so far. So I got the offer at the start of third year, and I did my internship this summer, May and June. So it was a great experience. It's a great company. It's remote work. I still went to the office. The office was good. The food is good. Overall, it's a great place to work in. How can you improve state of DP using bit set data structure? So for bit set data structure, generally you store it by bit. Rather, let's say if you try to build an integer array, you'll store 32 bits because one integer is 32 bits. So essentially you are saving your memory by divided by 32, whatever memory would have taken in the case of int. So those are there are a few particular problems which benefit a lot because there is a constraint on how, especially in C++, there is a constraint on how big size of an array you can take memory wise because of the size of the data type that you're taking. And in that case, int might not be always helpful. So bitset is helpful there. Do you have a course or you watched videos on YouTube for each topic? So yeah, it's not a fixed topic as per se. It's generally floating. So let's say for this month, I might be in a mood that, okay, I'm studying this topic and particularly from this YouTuber. There are a bunch of few people who generally I follow. The person I was mentioning who has taken the edu section of Codeforces, who has taught the binary search. His name is Pashka. Original Pashka is his Codeforces ID, I suppose, and his original name is Pavel Marvin, and he's the teacher of ITMO. He's a teacher in ITMO, and ITMO is like the college from which the founder of Codeforces is, and also tourist. So he's a pretty cool teacher. You can go through his channel. He has a playlist, particularly of the whole course which he teaches in ITMO in English. The rest of his channel is in uh, 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 Russia in Russian. So you can go through his channel if it suits you. He teaches very well. You can go through Priyansh content. Priyansh has also a few topics which is very good. Senior also has very good content out. You can go through. There are many people. I do not have anyone particularly I followed thoroughly. Also, next question by Yash. What would be a sorting factor for me if I apply off campus? I have CGPA in college and institute filters at for interns. Any advice? I have 7.2 CGPA. Yes, can you tell which year you are in and I'm presuming you are in NSUT.
Yeah, I am in third SEM CSE department.
Okay. So are you someone who's practicing computer programming or is more oriented towards dev side?
Yeah, actually I am doing both. Like 2-3 hours I am giving to web dev and rest I am doing CP.
Okay. So NECUT is a pretty good college. One thing which I have experienced so far in my placement or internship season so far, grabbing things on campus are much more helpful than off campus. Now, why I say that? Because not because of the questions or difficulty, the sorting process itself is slightly more there are less people filling in, so you have more understanding of your resume is shortlisted or not shortlisted. Off campus, currently if any big company gives out an opening, so mostly it's filled in few minutes, and generally there's not much follow up. At least it's been the case in my case. Very few percentage of companies have followed from there. So on campus, if you target well, I guess all the pretty big companies come to NSUT. And for off campus, see, I have, as I told, I have a CGPA of 8.9. I also have work from Atlassian intern experience. But yet, I also have not figured out the entire, like, this is the process of getting shortlisted off campus, especially if it's a opening, like it's a public opening. Yeah. So if you are good at either of those two things, practice both, but I would definitely suggest be in the top 5 percentile of either of those two things in your college. So in my case, I had my seniors who had interned at Atlassian. So and those seniors were just Codeforces rank 1, Codeforces rank 2, and Codeforces rank 4 of my college. So my idea was also pretty similar, like when these companies should come in my college. So I'm from a tier 3 college, it's a private college. There are only 1 or 2 companies of this caliber that come in my college. So I wanted to make sure, and my idea was whatever number of companies come and whatever the number of seats that are there, I should be among those few people whenever those companies come in my college. So you should be very good at one particular thing. That's what I feel. And also being good at the other thing helps you a lot in off campus, because in off campus they ask other things too. So they'll go into system design also in a detailed manner, or also something which is a lot more dev oriented also. So there that helps you a lot. But again, you should be very good at problem solving also to clear those rounds. I guess that helps you, Yash.
Thank you.
Yeah. Did Atlassian come in tier 3 for placements in pool or anything, or chance for tier 3 college student to get placed in Atlassian? I'm going to sit in big companies due to my but in 12th and 40%, which is 80%. So Bhanu, for Atlassian, so they mostly hire from on campus, especially for full-time grads, as much as I know. And they visit few like private colleges. For my college, private for tier 3 colleges. For my college, they came to like 1 year ago. They found good performance from the people who had interned, and also like my college has had a good PPU conversion ratio. So I guess that's why they came next year, like for my year also. Similarly, I guess that's what they do for private colleges. And also for I'm not able to sit in big companies due to. So the second point that you are mentioning, Bhanu, is that for on campus or for off campus? In the meanwhile, I'll take the next question.
On campus.
So for on campus, I think you should slightly talk to your TNP cell and if they help you out, because I don't think there is a clear and obvious answer out of this question. But if you like talk to the TNP cell, and if they have good relations and they are good enough, they will help you. From what I have seen in my college, there are few of my friends who did talk, so there was some level of relaxation. You can try that, I feel.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Have you ever covered any topic with the help of an article only without watching a video? Good question, in fact. I think, let me think. I would have covered topics, but not very big topics. So let's say for DP, I've surely watched videos. For graph, I've surely watched videos. For smaller topics, let's say bit set and all, I would have like read articles only. But yeah, reading articles and watching less videos is not very intuitive for most people. But if you get into a habit of reading articles and good articles, like your knowledge curve is much more than watching videos, because video is a passive medium. They are speaking and you can consume or you cannot consume, but you'll still hear something. But for articles, you have to put in the effort to read that particular thing. So if you are, that automatically means you are paying much more attention and you are reading at your own pace. So articles are much better, I feel, but that it takes a while to develop that habit. So I had a habit of reading books, so I guess that's why I was more oriented towards articles. Yeah, and guys, it's last 4 minutes, I guess. So if you have any further questions, I'll be happy to answer. I started to learn complex data structures when I felt slightly like slight level of saturation from the topics that, sorry. Okay, by rating, I don't think if you want to just, let's say your priority is to maximize your rating on Codeforces and what is required when. For complex data structures, I'm assuming you're talking about segment trees, and other data structures, binary lifting, so on and on. I think it's not very required until unless you are somewhere around 1300 or closer to 1400. Once you know you are closer to specialist, you can start going through those topics. Uh, Before that, if you want to just get an idea of those topics, you can go through them, but it's not necessary for you to like understand it thoroughly at one go. So yeah. Also, will a book, what should be a book for DSA or just practice, preferred for DSA? Yeah, she's asking, will a book be preferred for DSA or just practice? So practicing is always beneficial for most people. So it's the, how do I put it? Generally, say if someone is very skilled, let's talk about World Cup is going on, Rohit Sharma. So now he's so skilled, he does not need to practice every day, day in, day and out, because now he has like done the physical labor that needs to be done. Now he can just think about the game. Now, the better he thinks about the game, I feel the better he'll perform. That happens with any athlete. So similarly, also for your computer programming or just practicing or being good at DSA, if you are at the initial stage, you should practice more because there are many things. It's not just about understanding a topic. You have to, the gap between you thinking a solution and you coding that solution, that also improves if you solve and practice more. Now, once you are at a very good level or a level where you feel comfortable enough, then you should go through books because they might have a topic or so which is more better, which is much better explained. It might have a proper structure, so on and on. So yeah, any topics advice for going from specialist to expert? Practice more. It's slightly exhausting at times. It might take 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, or 6 months. Also take breaks in between. Get your headspace out, and give a lot of virtual contest. Give a lot of virtual contest. Okay. What was your routine while in college days as well as on holidays? I used to wake like sleep very late. I used to code, then again same day repeat. I used to go out with few of my friends. Sometimes it was lockdown, so yeah. And once I came into college, I had a internship of offer already. So then I just made a bunch of friends and I enjoyed my college life. Uh, Yeah, Priz, we like shortly, we are wrapping out of time, ending for time. Like you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. So, if you have any further questions, any one of you, you can like reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'll be happy to answer all of you. Also, yeah, I hope I was able to help you like few of the questions that you had. Do you have Insta? No, I do not use Instagram. It's slightly toxic for me. Yeah, from which year I started coding? At the end of first year, summer holiday. First, at the end of second semester. Seriously, seriously by the end of first year. Yeah. Okay, we can extend by 5 more minutes. So, if any of you have questions, you can like just unmute and ask also. It's not necessary like you need to put it in the chat. How much dev you have done? I have done, I would say, less than what most people do, but I think I have done good like good level of development. Mostly in my internship, that was like very cool experience, because I am pretty sure most of the projects that you do or see, until unless you, let's say, look at open source and you have seen code bases, you have seen the day-to-day codes pushing and all the git issues that come, you'll not be able to have a hands-on proper experience of development. So I have done less development, but I guess that was good because I was going by a fresh mind for my internship and I had a great experience. And now my idea of development itself is, I feel very different from what generally YouTube videos tell you. What was the stipend for Atlassian internship? Uh, just Google it or search it in YouTube. I guess it answers your question.
Will you going to continue the competitive programming after getting job?
Uh, See, ideally, I want to continue, to be honest. But now the thing is, I am slightly relaxed. So I tend to put in less time, not just by the hours that I code, but less amount of time thinking and thinking about the questions. So I'm not progressing much. But yeah, I will definitely be connected to computer programming in some capacity or any capacity, like in job, even after job. So I have a society in my college, which me and my ICPC partner had established. So we still are connected to that. We still hold sessions. We sometimes like discuss questions and ideas, because at the end, discussing an idea, discussing a question, discussing an approach is very beautiful, I feel, at any stage of your life. Even in development, that thing is same. Like the tools are different, the topic that you're talking about is different, but the way of thinking is like exactly same. So I would definitely like to be connected to it. Yeah. As a beginner, should I focus more on if I'm 500 in Codeforces? So at the rating of 500, you should just solve a lot of questions and you should give just a lot of contest and virtual. Just exhaust yourself slightly uh, by giving, like, you should be very practicing a lot on Codeforces. That itself answers a lot of questions, like for the first 1,000 or 1,200 rating. If you just put in that, most of these questions are answered. Yeah. Any other question?
Like, do you think there is certain saturation point in competitive programming, or like efforts say like we can progress?
Yeah. So, as anything in life, I do feel, yeah, there is a certain level of saturation in computer programming. Now, that depends on few factors. One factor is your motivation for doing it, how long the motivation can last. Also, your own, let's say, natural ability to be good at that thing. So, let's say your natural ability to observe patterns or things that, let's say, give you an edge uh, in problem solving. So, these things do contribute. But again, if you are keeping a realistic time frame, 1 year, 2 years, you can be like more than good enough, like in computer programming. Just set a realistic time frame, practice enough, you'll be more than good enough. Like you'll be in a very good spot. Uh, yeah, you can see, as I said, for that threshold, if you, let's say, are motivated enough, you just want to keep on progressing, so you will still progress. Might maybe the rate of progress will be slower, but again, for most cases, your threshold is generally a lot higher than what you assume it to be. Compare it to bodybuilding. Initially, muscles grow much faster, but as you age and you have done bodybuilding for, let's say, 5 7 years, it's much harder to put on muscle. But again, you still grow, but maybe the growth that you had in 1 year, now it will take 3 years. So yeah, that it's not a end, it's more of a, the rate of change is decreasing. Okay. In a day, how many questions should I target to practice? You can practice if as many questions as you want. The question should be effective. That's the primary thing. Yeah, guys, I guess that's about it. Now I think we should wrap. We are already 5 minutes above. No, I don't recommend ladders. Generally most of the ladders that are out there are like outdated. So I'm not very big fan of that. Okay, so you guys can reach out to me on LinkedIn, like if you want. It's not necessary. I don't post anything. Just yeah. So I've pasted, given my LinkedIn on chat. Yeah, I guess that would be all. It was great coming today. Uh, and yeah, one thing about senior, I would say, do go through the sheet that Jaskaran has made. I do feel it's very good for complex programming. Jaskaran is a world final, so I don't world finalist in ICPC. So I guess the credentials are well explained. You can go through that. Yeah. So thank you, everyone. I guess we'll end now.